everyone. Welcome to this week's Tanzu Tuesdays. Hopefully you were able to watch the talks from the conference last week for Spring One. If not, everything is now available if you just go to spring1.io and you can watch the keynote or the main stage and any of the other events that were happening last week. So next week we have Marcin and Olga, and I'm not exactly sure yet what they'll be talking about. Actually, that's not true. I don't know how to scroll in Excel. So they'll be talking about new trends in software development with Spring Boot and Spring Cloud. So that'll be next week, same time as usual. So yeah, and if you have missed any of the previous episodes in the last few weeks, I now have some of my coworkers who have joined me that are new to the team and also new-ish to Tanzu Tuesdays. So we have Whitney and Lee, who are my new Tanzu Tuesdays partners in crime for the last few weeks.
Hello. So glad to be here. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so nice having company.
Yeah. Crimes are we committing here? You know? I don't know what I signed up for now.
And it's recorded, so whatever you do, the whole internet knows.
I would never do anything nefarious with a computer.
Except for mess up your fan.
Yeah, or maybe bash my laptop. And yeah, the nefarious activities are the responsibilities of the Goose Hydra. So.
And so speaking of newish coworkers, today we have Layla, who is our guest of honor and new coworker.
Hello.
Layla. Welcome.
Layla, who deals with our OBS fails and her wizardry.
There's no fails. It's all good. I'd never say it's a fail. It's just that
they're OBS Easter eggs.
Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. All these Easter eggs that you need to go and find.
I like the idea of being an OBS wizard. I think you need a wizard hat, pointy with the moons and stars. Yeah.
It might poke off the top of the screen. I'd have to crouch down. Can I have tassels
a really tiny one?
Yes, a really tiny one.
It could be a steampunk hat that are just tiny and small. You just have a little wizard hat on your head.
Like the size of this mouse, yeah.
Oh, that is kind of wizardry. That's actually
OBS wizard in the house. There she is. You do have the long flowing platinum wizard hair, right?
Yes. It's a bit patchy because I just slapped some conditioning color stuff on it today, but just for you lot. And I probably shouldn't have bothered. I should have left it as blonde. Oh, looking good, Lee.
I'm not sure if it fits that. Oh, there you go, Lee. Nice.
Wait, what?
Lee's I'm the pizza wizard.
What camera is doing that?
Camera.
We're gonna go down the Snapchat camera rabbit hole.
I think that was just a stock
again.
Yeah.
Not again.
Oh, the potatoes.
Oh dear.
So I did something funny this weekend. I got some friends together and I went to a learn to curl lesson.
Curling.
Right.
Yeah, there's a stone and you throw it, and then my friends are sweeping in front of it to try to get it. Yeah, in an ice rink.
On ice, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was hilarious. You don't wear skates though. You just wear your normal shoes, except they give you one rubbery pad that you put over your shoe on your dominant foot or non-dominant. I don't remember, but it was super fun. I liked it. I just did it because it was weird and I like doing weird things. But then I ended up genuinely enjoying it, which I did not expect. And then my friends and I are what about a curling league? Maybe we should join. I don't. So
that's a Winter Olympic sport. So you could definitely go on and be in the Winter Olympics.
That's probably the future I have ahead of me. Very likely.
You have what, 4 years till the next one?
two till maybe only one till the next Olympic.
Oh, winter, right?
Winter.
This is summer.
Yeah. So that would be another career change for you.
I would just pile it on, the fifth one. as soon as I get Kubernetes down pat, I'll just move right on with board.
Yeah, curling. It's all done. So I'm sorry, I'm just being poked by a wet nose from my puppy. So I'm just like, play with me, literally scratching my leg, play with me. And I'm like trying to push her off.
I think you just should have said by a wet nose and let us like think about it or by a wet nose and then like by my partner. Yeah.
That's just a bit creepy. We have a Tasha in the chat. There's a Tasha. Awesome.
Oh, Tasha. Hi, Tasha. What do y'all do with your longer weekends? Well, I guess yours wasn't longer, Layla. Sorry. You were just all lonely yesterday.
I actually yesterday I practiced. I had Andrew from the TSL team on my stream today. So yesterday, he's based in Toronto, so he didn't have the day off either. And yesterday we did a lot of practicing, well, sort of, I was talking him through how to be a guest on a stream, and checking all his tech and bringing him in. And then we were like, oh, what are we going to like actually do on the stream? What code were we going to work on? So that's kind of what I did yesterday. Hello, Stealthy Box as well. We've got someone else coming in.
No, that's me.
Oh, that's you? Oh, I was excited.
It's me. I'm the box.
I see. So what did you all do? Did you have a nice weekend for your Memorial Day? I had last Monday off. It was the last bank holiday here, so I can't complain too much. You were all working and I had the day off. But yes, did you do anything? Well, Whitney did curling, but what about Tiffany and Lee? Anything?
We had so Mario made burgers that were awesome, and we had like a barbecue outside at Josh's, and then hot tub.
So, I mean,
yeah,
nice.
I would really benefit from the hot tub for sure. I had a weekend full of volleyball. Me and my partner Tanya, who I just proposed to not that long ago, we played up in a volleyball tournament in Fraser, Colorado. It's by Winter Park. And they've got this gorgeous sports complex up there. And it's just the best grass. There's like a ropes course up there. We didn't do the ropes course. But the cool thing that we did do was we actually slept inside of our new to us Toyota Sequoia for the first time. And so it's the first dry run of the SUV life adventures.
Are there going to be more extensive SUV adventures coming up?
Yeah, October is going to be the trip to KubeCon. So, assuming that things are going well with planning and everything there, as far as all of the COVID logistics, I will see some of you lovely folks out there with Tanya, my partner, Pepsi, the dog, and our Sequoia, which we have named the tree. So.
Okay, I was like, is there a name?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. There'll be lots of cool bits that we can include on the stream, like how to stay connected when you're on the road and that kind of thing.
How long is the commute or the trip, the drive?
We should be stopping the week before in Albuquerque, where the Balloon Festival will be happening. Right. Ooh. So we'll take our time moseying down towards LA. And I should be in Albuquerque where we will be running DevLoop. That's going to be really cool.
Excited. I'm on DevLoop, so I'm quite excited about that too.
Yeah, it's just that whole conference is going to be like, I am so excited. Just so many incredible speakers. I come from the DevOps Days community, right? And like, we've got all of the diehard like DevOps theorists coming in to nerd out and talk about GitOps and cloud native software and continuous delivery. It's gonna be really cool.
Layla's expressions though.
Like, what am I doing at this thing? Like, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I'm like code. I don't do the whole DevOps thing. What madness is that? I'm going to come in and talk about, I'm doing a lightning talk, so it's okay. I shouldn't be booed off stage too much.
Yeah,
Like,
Tasha,
virtual
just put it into the
stage?
chat, devopsloop.io. Get over there. Go check it out and register. It's right before
Crazy how fast,
VMware.
like, yeah, it's crazy how fast all these conferences come up. Like Spring One just finished, and like coming up like in basically about a month is DevOps Loop and then VMworld.
Well, my conferences keep, like, those are exciting, but my, like, the ones that I'm like was looking forward to, not that I'm not looking forward to those, they're still coming out wrong. But
Okay.
ones I was looking forward to as well, in addition, are all getting cancelled. So like I was supposed to be going to Kansas City in 2 weeks. No, in a week. I was supposed to be flying out a week today. And I've withdrawn from that because like I'm banned from the US still. And then the one I was supposed to be going to in October in Pennsylvania, that was cancelled. So I'm holding out for Orlando.
Or just moved to virtual? It was canceled altogether?
That was cancelled altogether. That was Tech Bash. And so I'm holding out for Orlando in November, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Cloud and Containers Live, yay! I'm excited. But yeah, we'll see if I'm allowed to come and visit or not, or if I'm still banned.
I feel like y'all should be banning us, not the other way around.
You haven't seen our figures, have you?
Yeah. Oh, I just want we're like someone needs like the little wizard hat and the little wavy wand, and then be like, bye COVID.
That would be lovely. Yeah. Yeah. But I was too scared to like even risk going next week, because the thing is, if I catch COVID in the US, I can't come home. So that's what I was really worried about, that I would be stuck in Kansas City for 2 weeks and miss taking my mom on holiday. So I'm taking her on a holiday in 2 weeks time. So
where are you going?
Wales.
Wales?
Yeah, North Wales.
What
say again?
Is it like a relaxing holiday or a sightseeing holiday? Or
so it's like we get a cottage. I'm taking my mum to North Wales with her dog and my 2 dogs. So we'll, North Wales is quite mountainy and lots of rivers, and it's quite a nice place. And then so that's 3 nights, and then I'm driving with my mum down to South Wales, where my partner's going to meet us, and then I'm staying for another 6 nights in South Wales, and sending my mum packing the day after. She's like, yeah, you can stay a night, and then you can go. And then I have a holiday sans mother, because you can't have your whole holiday with your mother. Oh, I can't.
No, I can't have any of my holiday with my mother. Officially not a holiday.
No, so they're just hiking holidays. I like hiking, so that's kind of about what I'll do, going hiking up some Welsh mountains.
I love hiking too.
Nice. You get the puppy out and about.
Knacker it.
Sister.
Just tire it out so it doesn't come and like annoy us. It's not possible.
Feed me. Yeah, I've been hanging out with like Josh's puppy for the last few days. He's just zonked out right now.
Josh says that dog is straight from hell.
Hell, yeah.
Yeah. Has that been your experience, Tiffany?
He went to like a trainer 2 months ago, so he's less bad. He did go after my hand once, and he started getting growly and yappy a little bit, but like right now, like, I mean, he's very much like just
chilling. Yeah.
Everybody looks like
chilling like the villain he is.
Up at Puppy Tragedy headquarters. We have a wonderful view of the skyline.
Yeah, this is very nice, your skyline there.
I feel like hiking to the fridge.
at Harry the Platypus and Doofenshmirtz Incorporated. It's kind of what I'm
The
picturing
what?
right now.
Okay.
It's a cartoon called Phineas and Ferb about these two kids who are on summer vacation from middle school, and they just have the most crazy antics and adventures. They invent all of these, large machines, and it's a very kind of like wild world. And their babysitter is like always trying to find out how to expose their crazy adventures to their parents, but it just never works out. But there's this platypus who is a secret agent in the show. Yes. And while all of these crazy things are happening, Perry the platypus will often also save the city or save the world from Dr. Doofenshmirtz, who has his headquarters, so the classic evil villain type stuff for a summer vacation.
Nice. Will you put the name of that in the chat?
Phineas and Ferb? Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. If I can spell it correctly, I think it's Phineas and Ferb. I have to guess.
I'm gonna have to go and check this out now. So
let's see. It has a killer theme song as well. Really, really terrific. You will. What's a Wikipedia link good for these days? Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Let me see. Okay, I am clicking it open. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out if I can get it here. I don't know. We'll have to see. Can't always get everything. Like everyone's talking about Ted Lasso. I don't have that.
You can't.
Oh no!
You just can't watch it. Period.
I'd have to have Apple TV, I think.
Is there no Apple TV in the UK?
There is, but I don't have. Why would I have Apple TV?
I don't have Apple TV.
I got it just so I could bond with the team, but also free year of it. I think because is that sad? I think it's nice.
I just feel like I don't want to bond with you. I'm not getting Apple TV.
I just threw you right under the bus. I love our teammates, so I got it. I'm like Layla.
Oh, Cora did it too.
I'm just gonna slink off now. Okay, Cora did it. Okay, like I didn't get this memo. Okay, fine.
I didn't even know
whatever
even was a thing until Ted Lasso. I didn't even know.
Clearly, we need to ask if we can expense as a team bonding event.
Oh yeah, yeah. Totally worth
Layla.
Cora's driving home.
Is it really? Is it? I don't know. I'll have to think about it, count my pennies, and see if I really want to. I don't know. Like, we'll see.
Just like wait until it's accumulated further, then just do the $5 for like a month and binge the entire thing. So you spent $5 for the entire thing.
Yeah, you see, this is it. My partner really wants Disney for The Mandalorian, and I'm like,
yeah.
And that other one, the I don't know what's it called, Flash something. I don't know. No, like something on Flash? Disney. I don't know that they're like it's a Marvel one, and they're in the 50s, and it's black and white or something. I don't know. Some other like Marvel series.
WandaVision.
That's the one. You see, Flash, WandaVision, Flash.
Flash is DC.
Sorry, I'm not up on all my comics now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm really just like, shall I just do this and like slink away? Bye. Do you want me back on?
I've been chilling in the whole like Marvel universe lately because Josh has been playing SpiderMan.
Oh, the game?
Yeah.
I didn't get on with that. It was like splat, swing, splat, 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 splat. Splat.
I'm like mashing keys. I'm like, is this gonna do what I want?
No.
Oh yeah, cool. They died. Oh shoot, I died.
No, it doesn't do what you want. I like we got stuck Like we kept swapping the controller between me and my partner, and like we could not get past this level. It's just like kicked our asses. That was it. We're like, fine, rage quit, never playing it again. It's fine. Whatever.
See, that's kind of how like video games used to be though, right? Like none of this adaptive difficulty kind of thing, you know, it's just like maybe you'll beat this 2 years from now if you keep playing, you know, or you don't have to, but it's still a good game. You know, did you enjoy the first half?
No, I didn't. And it was only topped off by not being able to beat this boss. And I was like, this is a no.
That sounds like a very retro experience, you know?
At the dexterity part of video games, because my son's been around for 20 years, so we'll play together. And as soon as the dexterity gets hard, I hand it to him. But now he's gone. And the one thing I still can do from when I was a kid, like playing Nintendo, there's a lot of like spamming. Like I can do that I'm good at that motion better than the youngins. Yeah, because because like every game you played, like if you wanted to run fast, like that's
on the arcade machines, and you'd be like with the little nut thing. Like
there's a certain satisfaction to an arcade cabinet's buttons that you just cannot get. You know, I almost want like a Stream Deck that just has those buttons on it. Right.
Yeah, you can sort of get mini arcade things. I don't know. I know that at my last job, we built an arcade box and stuck a computer in it to play Twilio Quest. And that had all the buttons and it was all linked up, and that was pretty cool. And then I don't know who got that. It went to Walkabouts, someone on the team that now has an arcade machine at home. And it was like a desktop, like a countertop one, tabletop. So it's quite cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that would have been that could have been fun. I used to love playing Tekken. That was pretty good. That was a lot of button mashing on that one.
Yeah, talking button mashing, dexterity, finesse, and fighting games. Tanya, my partner, her latest obsession has been Super Smash Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. And so she will be constantly pestering me like, let's play a little bit of 1v1. Let's play some tag team. And we've got some friends who are also super into it. And I just was like really bad at Smash. And Tanya wasn't good either. But we purchased this Switch like last year, you know, something to do inside. And we purchased, you know, the Smash Bros like much more recently. And it's just been the thing to do now if we're not outside, you know, in the Sequoia or playing volleyball or something. But gosh, there's something like 60 characters and they all have, you know, gosh, if I had to think, there's like 14 variations of like different moves for each character, and you've got to know like which ones do what. My friend Gabe is like a Pokédex for Smash. Pretty fun.
And you can get on like quick tournaments online, right? My son plays that one. That seems fun. He also plays Rocket League. He's like a grandmaster or something that I think I understand is important, but
yeah, Rocket League is one of those finicky games that I would never attempt to play.
Yeah, it seems there seems to be a lot of precision involved to get your cart flying up in the air in just the right position to be able to kick a soccer ball into the goal. Yeah.
I like story games. So it's like an interactive movie. That's my favorite kind.
And like a world you can explore and and cute, like funny surprises.
Yeah, so sometimes just like scary monsters, and like at the moment I'm replaying Mafia, so it's all set in the 30s, and that's just glorious. It's wonderful, so beautiful. I hijacked a speedboat, and went like round there and looked at this city that's loosely based on Chicago, and it was just fantastic.
Speaking of crime,
is there crime?
Stealing a speedboat.
Yes, it's Mafia. I'm a mafiosa.
I know. It was earlier in the conversation, I was saying that partners in crime. So this is a crime.
Yeah. You didn't call me a partner in crime. You called Ben partners in crime. Not me.
So
not me.
apparently they're not.
Does this make us enemies?
We need to watch Ted Lasso together. So
we're not partners in crime, but we're friends in crime.
Associates.
I also like how
connections in crime.
Layla, do you have a green screen?
I do.
I like how you're using a green background. So sometimes with the little green halos, you can't tell there's a green halo because your background's green too.
Exactly. So it's and I'm also just love woods. I'm being poked again, sorry, by the wet nose. So I used to have a lot of virtual studios when I streamed. So I've got a 3 meter, like 12-foot green screen. It's huge. So I can usually like I'm a bit off camera at the moment. I'm a bit off axis, so like the edge is here because I'm like that way on my camera. But normally I'd be a bit more centered, and I'd be in like a green room basically to superimpose myself into virtual studios. So yes, it's a bit of a nightmare though. It fills the whole room. But it is quite good, the strategic lack of green stuff.
So when you have those like when you say virtual studios, those are those like video game world looking backgrounds that you can be in sometimes, and it takes that bit of a green screen behind you to pull that off. I didn't know that. Cool.
So yeah, I have to be in like cutout, chroma keyed, so I can be inserted into them. So yes, and then you have to try and match the background. You can have blue or magenta or green screens for that. So it depends on, like if you wore a lot of green or had green hair, you might have a magenta or a blue screen, and that would help. So yeah,
that might be better. Like the green screen makes my skin tone turn really wonky. Like I turn greenish.
You could try a different color, like especially if you've got quite a bit of red in your hair or something. The green screen and the white balance, they all go squiffy, so you can switch it out. And you know, now if Lee had a blue screen, he could be headless right now. That'd be pretty awesome.
I've done that before. It is a good experience, you know. It's very freeing.
Just be this floating
feel the
head.
weight of the world kind of lifting.
Yeah.
Just be. Mm-hmm.
You have to point with your tongue.
On the note of blue, should we switch over to Azure now that it's almost 30 in?
Oh, yeah, we can do.
Continue afterward.
It's time to hijack a speedboat.
Okay. Now I'm very happy for you to ask questions and chat. Feel free to. I've got chat right here, watching you all. So if you want to like ask questions or stop me, and you three, if you want to ask questions, feel free. I'm very happy to be interactive when I talk. So yes, right. You want me to share my screen then, don't you? So
yes,
I shall do that then. There we go. Yay! This is what I'm talking about today. Azure Functions, one of my favorite things. I mean, if you all want to hang out, you can. I'm fine with you all hanging out on the side. It's entirely up to you. Or if you want to like go hijack speedboats, that's okay too, Lee. You know, I won't take offense. So let me just move you guys over there so I can see you. So who's played with Azure Functions? Anybody? Any takers?
Not me.
Nope.
No? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to make you want to play with them. Make you. Okay. Make you. You're going to be just like, yep, I want to go and play with this. All right. Well, this is like my main deck. You don't need to know about that. You lot all know about me. So, right. This is straight off the docs. And this isn't like the most interesting bit, but I'll read this out. It's Azure Functions allow you to develop more efficiently. They're an event-driven serverless compute platform that can also solve complex orchestration problems, build and debug locally without additional setup, deploy and operate at scale in the cloud, and integrate services using triggers and bindings. And I think that doesn't really say a lot about them, but I'm hoping by the end of this, you'll know a lot more about them. Just some facts. They were released in March 2016. The first version was a bit janky. You could only do it in the Azure portal. And then version 2 came out in September 2018, which brought the developing locally, which is awesome. And then we got version 3 in January 2020. At least it gave us something to play with last year. So you may want to know why functions. So I came from sort of monolith backgrounds, maybe a dirty background here, but it was all monolith architecture. And if you actually wanted to expand on your solution and create another, like use a new feature or do something, and you didn't really want to go and mess up your monolith. Maybe you wanted to use a new language feature and you didn't want to go through and update your whole entire monolith. You would make like what I call satellite services. So we're not going full microservices here. We're creating little satellite projects. And I think Azure Functions is a really good way to do that, especially if you've got long running processes. So that's what I think is a really good use for most people. And a lot of developers would be coming in at that level. Because, you know, you can always do a huge rewrite, rewrite. Oh my goodness, get those words out, Layla. A huge rewrite. Rewrite. There we go. My goodness. You know, business critical features, you don't always like fiddle with them. Owners are like, no, we don't have time to redevelop this. Just get it done and get it done now. So Azure Functions can allow you to do this really nicely. I'll show you some of the features, which if you're not familiar with ASP.NET development, maybe a bit like, nah, do I care? But it's really cool, trust me, okay? It's really, really cool.
To have some things that are similar to Knative, is it a competitor to Knative, do you know?
I don't really know what Knative is, Whitney. Tell me what Knative is.
Knative has a server part where you can scale to 0, so serverless, and then it has a eventing component, so you can add events easily to Kubernetes.
So I guess you could use a trigger to behave in that fashion, but this is actually running like a whole application. So it will do something. So if that can do that, then it would be similar. This is very similar. If you've heard of AWS Lambdas, it can be like that. Hopefully when I show you what it can do, that might explain a bit more. Come on, there we go. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how they work. So what you have is a trigger. Now that can be anything really. There's lots of different triggers. That could be from blob storage. It could be from like queue, such as RabbitMQ. It could be, basically there's a whole load. I'll show you them in a minute. But we're going to look at HTTP trigger in this case. So if you make an HTTP request to your function, what happens behind the scenes is that Azure goes, oh, okay, this wants this particular app. And the app is stored in Azure storage. So it has to go and find a server with capacity. And then it will also need to make sure that it starts the Azure Functions runtime on that server. And then it will execute your code on that server. So you can see that it goes, the trigger comes in, Azure goes, oh, okay, where am I going to put this? And it finds a server, it starts the runtime, and then eventually it executes. That's called a cold start. That could take quite a fair bit of time. And that was a big thing about Azure Functions when they first came out. Oh, they're slow, there's this cold start. So they then started, that they being Azure, they started with pre-warmed, so not hot, but pre-warmed. So they'd have servers already with the function runtime on them, ready to go. So you could just come in and your app could be immediately allocated to a server ready to go. So it really cut down the time. Now, if you didn't want this whole cold start, you can use a premium version of Azure Functions, not the pay-as-you-go, or I can't remember the name of it. There's two types. I'll get to it's in these notes, so I will get to it. You could have that, and that would be the same as deploying to an app service. So that would keep your app warm all the time. So now if we click on, come on, there we go. So installing.
So I have a question again.
Yeah, go for it.
So is there then, if you're running this on a cloud provider, is there then a cost for keeping your app warm because there's hardware being used to have it ready to go?
Yes, so that would be a premium. I remember the name. It's consumption. So that's pay as you go. And that will give you like a million actuations for free. But if you really needed the speed, you had a heavy load on it, and you always needed it ready to go, and you didn't want this sort of cold start, warm start thing, you can go for the non-consumption. I can't remember the name of it, but it would be a paid for thing, and it can be quite costly. So depending on how much use you have, keeping basically an app service on Azure for a month is probably about $60 a month, something like that. So you'd have that base cost, and then if you went over your actuations, it would be additional costs on top of that. Whereas the consumption literally can be a few pennies a month, because if you don't go over your like million actuations, then you don't really have to worry. So it's quite a nice thing to have for an occasional bit of compute that maybe you have a long running service and it needs to be highly scalable, because Azure Functions will scale themselves quite nicely. And you can basically just put them there. They'll scale up to 200 instances on the consumption plan. So you can get a lot of scalability coming in there. So if you knew you were going to have an event happening, you could just leave that there. They'll scale and all automatically without affecting your monolith, which maybe doesn't need to scale in that. So it's a really nice way of just giving that little bit of extra oomph to a monolith. You can completely build a whole microservices infrastructure with these as well, or complement a microservices infrastructure, architecture with Azure Functions. So they're very versatile. Does that answer your question, Whitney?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Awesome. So if you wanted to get Azure Functions on your machine, now I'm going to show you C# because you know I do C#, but you can do Node with JavaScript. They have Java, Python, PowerShell, possibly some others that I've forgotten. You can do Azure Functions in a lot of languages. So, you know, they're really flexible in that respect. But let's just say you want to use them with C#, you'll use Visual Studio or Rider. And then when you install that, you get the Azure Functions sort of CLI with it. You don't have to install anything in addition. If you want to use VS Code, or you're going to do something that's not C# based, you're going to want the Azure Functions CLI tools. And you can bring those down, and that would be what you'd need for VS Code. Or if you just want to run it all from the CLI, which you can do, you can connect to Azure from the CLI. You can deploy, you can do all of that from there. If you don't use Visual Studio or Rider, you're going to need a storage emulator to run it locally, because as I mentioned earlier, your function code is stored in a storage container, a blob storage. So if you're cross-platform, the choice now is Azurite. That used to be Azure Storage Explorer, I think was the old one. But that's being sort of deprecated now to go to Azurite, because that's cross-platform. Now, if you go on, so the core tools allow you to develop and test your functions locally using CLI. You connect to Azure services, you can debug locally, and you can deploy. So regardless of what language you're doing them in, it makes them pretty versatile. So I'm going to show you the basics to start with. And how sort of straightforward it is to get one going. So I have Visual Studio here, and I am going to create a new project. So it's looking decidedly light mode. I don't know why. Like, I will sort that in a moment so we don't offend any people's eyes. Yes, Stealthy Box Azurite does sound like something in a Minecraft world, I must say. I think it's quite a cool name. So if we go in here, functions, you can see it's already in there, Azure Functions. I'm going to click next. Now, if I wanted to do Sorry for the loud bikes going past. If I wanted to do this in the command line, I'm pretty sure I have it in here. I can do AZ func. Really? There you go. And then functions are in here somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was AZ func. They just updated them recently. So they may have changed them, like as in like a few days ago. And I haven't had an opportunity to have a look, but you can use the, there you can go. You can make, I make that bigger. You can get it from function app now. So it used to be func. They've obviously changed it to function app. And you can control everything in from here. And this is also all of your Azure resources can be controlled from in here. So for example, if you wanted to do it as code, you could write scripts that you could run in here and manage all of your Azure resources, or indeed keep them in source control, which is a really nice feature. So in here, I'm just going to create a function app, and I will make this bigger and on the next screen. This is an interesting bit. Now, remember I said there were lots of different triggers. You can have service bus, HTTP trigger, HTTP, I'm going to say like too many T's, okay? HTTP trigger with Open API, which is new and really exciting. If you've not seen Open API, it's really cool. It goes through your endpoints and makes them discoverable. So it's a really nice thing. You can have timers, queues, blobs, event grid, event hub, IoT, durable functions is quite interesting. So that is an orchestrator. So if you've got more complex functionality that you need to do and you have lots of functions and you need to orchestrate them in a certain pattern, you can use durable functions. They are a lot more expensive. But you can see here that there's a whole load of different triggers that you can use. Just for this one, I'm going to use an HTTP trigger. Let's create it. I'm also going to bring up Postman so we can query it in a moment. So we'll just create that. And here it comes. Here. Why is it blue? We have to change that straight away. I'm
so
sorry.
Tiny, so small.
It's so small, but you don't want to see it because it's disgusting. We need to make it pretty, and then I'll make it bigger. Okay. Phew. Okay. Panic is over. There we go. Alrighty. So
it is something like when you're used to working in dark theme, when something's light, it does feel like,
it's
like
it's
that really took me back to the Windows XP days.
Oh, there's something really wrong with that Visual Studio Blue as well. It's just wrong on so many levels. So, but you can have nice light ones. Alrighty, so what we have here is a solution. You can get an empty solution. And what this comes with is a few things. And I'm going to point these out now. Very important is the gitignore here, because we don't like to dox ourselves and put our secrets on the interweb, do we? So straight of the box, Azure Functions come with a gitignore that ignores local.settings.json. Really important, because this is going to hold all your secrets. Because of the way functions work, that they don't use what we have as user secrets, which is a really nice feature. Well, I lie, they do. But they put this in because originally you couldn't use user secrets, which is a way of keeping it like a dev env if you're used to Python. This, you didn't want to commit this. So if you were using your local.settings, you'd want to put like a demo.local.settings to show the structure of your configuration and commit that. Now, we have a host file here. You can change things in here, such as the version. Not really worried. It looks like I'm running version 2, not version 3, but doesn't matter. This is what we're interested in. This is our first function. And you get a template straight out, which is really nice because you can go in and learn. So if we look at this is the name, the sort of endpoint of it, and I can call this anything I want. So if I call that, let's go Tanzu. That can be that. And then we've got authorization level. So this is a bit of security. I'll talk more about security in a moment. We don't really need to worry about that when developing locally. We have admin, anonymous, function, system, and user. So it's just different levels of access. But when you're local, it just ignores that completely. Then we have our verbs. So this will accept a get and a post. You could do either or. And then you could override the root. At the moment, this will be on localhost :7071/API/Tanzu. You may not want the /API in there. You may just want it to go to Tanzu directly. So you can override the default routing in there. So it's quite nice. And then we get the HTTP request in here as well. I'll show you something cool about that in a little bit.
Is the default routing noted in there somewhere, or do you just know it?
It will be in the documentation.
Okay.
It's kind of like C# is a lot of convention based. So all web APIs always go /API/controller name type thing.
Okay.
So if you're used to doing C#, it'll be very familiar to you. It is documented. And when we run this, it will tell you the root as well, which is really cool. So we have logging out the box that comes in. That's all injected. So this has dependency injection, and they do show you how to get stuff off the query and out of the request body. So it's probably easiest if I just run this. And because I'm in an IDE, I can just press run. I don't need to worry about it. I could run it from the CLI if I wanted. But I'm just going to go here and get it going. So you can see it's starting the emulator right now. And there we go. So this is why you don't need to worry about the roots, because in the whatever this is called, console, my goodness, it will print out every root to every function you have. So now I know that here is my root, and you can see it picked up that Tanzu that I put in there. Now, if we go to Postman, yeah, thank you. You can see I may have done this before. There we go. I can't make this one bigger. I've made this bigger already. Or I can try and make it a little bit bigger. Let me have a look. No, settings. Why was that so difficult to see? Font size. Let's make that bigger. Okay. I think that's as good as I can go. So if we did a get on here, let me get rid of that. And there should be none because it's a get, you silly thing. So if we hit that, you can see it's triggered the function. We got some feedback logging in our CLI. This is straight off the template, so you can get in there straight away and have a play. And you can see that we didn't put anything on the query string. So if I go and do that now and do name equals Layla, it should come and pick that up out here. So you can see it goes into the query, gets the value that's name, and you can add to that whatever you need to, and you don't need to specify it. It will just bring it through. You don't need to change the root or anything. If I wanted to do it in the body, we can go into raw. I can give it JSON, and I can make a nice little bit of valid JSON here, and let's go with Tiffany. That's you. And if we paste that now, and I get rid of that bit, and we send a post in, you can see it's picked out the body there without me having to do anything. So the same templates in all other languages. So you could go in and just play with it and see what happens and see what you want to do. So I think it's really nice, easy thing to get into because they give you all the code. You need a few concepts like what's the path and that, but not masses. So that's kind of a basic like level 1 on how to get that going.
What do you think the voice of this Azure function is though?
And what do you mean? Like
how does it sound when it says, hello, Tiffany? This Azure function has executed successfully.
I think it goes, hello, Tiffany. I think you're wonderful, and I've executed. Okay. Yeah, like that. I think that's the voice it's doing it in. Is that adequate?
I think so.
How do you hear it,
I'm left wondering, because like this was on localhost, right? So you probably only had like one instance, but I'm wondering if each instance has its own voice, or if they kind of like have a collective voice or not.
I don't know. Well, this is my VM, so my VM is quite contrary. It just, I mean, it's really contrary, this particular
it's a bit
VM.
Suspicious because you're a development machine.
Yeah, it does give me a lot of lip, so that's why I think of it as Cockney, and trying to be a bit of a pain in my bottom. So I love how Tiffany's putting on a hoodie as I'm here melting in our second summer in the UK, literally melting in here with a fan blowing full blast on me and no AC.
Yeah, we have AC here.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
At home I don't have an AC thing. But
yeah, but you live like up north.
Yeah, except for it was like the last time that I was here in SF, I was so happy because it was 112 in Seattle.
Yes, you had awfully hot weather, didn't you? It wasn't very good, like very unusual.
No.
Alrighty, so let me go back to here.
So you just don't see Layla? You just don't have it? Or
no, I have no, they just don't really do AC here. They don't come built into the houses. I have a portable one for when it gets really hot. Because we can get like 35, 36. So I don't know, is that like 105? I don't know. 106? I don't know. What's your weird thing again? Like what's 36 in
35 is 95.
Okay, well there you go. We're getting like high 90s with no AC. And then I might put on the AC. We were like at 39 2 years ago, and I slept in the stairwell of my house because it was the coolest place with the AC blowing on me. And that was the only place. I put some cushions off the couch on the floor and slept there with the dog in like crop top and some shorts, and that was it. Just like, yeah. So I could do with AC, really.
Is it like
yeah.
I think that's
all the hurricanes coming through too.
Yeah, it's a very hot start, right? So I heard Lee. Tiffany, were you what like?
Oh yeah, the global warming is causing, like, there was like a tropical storm that was almost a hurricane. There was another hurricane that just came through. Like, things have just been sucking in terms of weather.
Yeah. Like half your country is on fire and half is drowning. And it's like
the New York subways are flooding.
Yeah.
Twice.
It's scary. It's very odd. And you have to wonder why is this all happening? Humans. Oh wow.
Yeah. But I guess my question is, like, is it global warming the reason that it's really hot right now and you have no AC, or just historically?
Oh, it's always got like this. Yeah.
It's always gotten like that.
Yeah. No, it's quite normal for this. The UK is kind of on the same latitude of, like, it's more north than Winnipeg. So we're very far north compared to all of you. That's why we have such short daylight hours in the winter and such long days in the summer. So we're very, very far north, but we have the Gulf Stream, which makes us really warm, like really warm. So we barely get snow in the winter, and then we can get really hot in the summer. And because I'm like the most landlocked part of the UK, we can get very hot here. We will get like a hot couple of weeks every year, and by hot I mean like 35 to 38 C, so like high 90s. And but we don't have, our houses are built for the cold, so yeah, we don't really have, but they're not even built for that much cold. If it gets really cold, then we freeze, because like, we've got big windows, and we're not built for that much either. We're just like, we need to sit in the middle here, just this little tiny bubble, like a Californian. No, it's just this nice temperate bit and nothing more and nothing less. So that's it.
The lack of AC in like UK, Europe sucks. Like when I was in Paris one time, like so floor starts on 0, and I was on, like, the place I was staying was technically floor 5, but then I was in the loft in it. So it's an equivalent of like 7 stories. And oh my goodness, it was the most disgusting thing ever.
Yeah.
It was so hot.
Paris can get very hot, like really, really hot as well. So all of mainland Europe, if you're not by the coast, can get really, really mega hot. Like even right up into Russia, it just gets so hot and you have really long days. So yeah,
no one shows that in the movies. It's all just drinking wine and falling in love.
No.
Yeah.
It's like bastard cold in winter, like freezing. And then in the summer, you're literally melting away. So yeah, it's quite extreme in France. So quite extreme in all of Europe, really, their weather. So yeah. So
I would watch a movie about lasagna.
Yeah.
I could also write an Azure function about lasagna.
you should. I'd like to
I don't
see
know
that.
why thinking of France makes me think of lasagna.
Yeah, I don't
What
either.
will that Azure
Yeah.
function sound like?
Would it sound like, I don't know, Germanic? Would it be? Because, you know, it's an Azure function. You think about Paris, you think about lasagna, but would it sound Germanic?
Slurping sounds.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like kind of like the sizzling sound when you pull lasagna right out of the oven and the cheese is like bubbling.
Hello, this is the
Yeah.
tea. So it'd be very sibilant, yes. Okay. It's just going to hiss at you.
It's like a snake, a lasagna snake.
I'm
Okay.
thinking more of like the wet noodle on noodle noise. It's like when you try to cut through a bunch of, yeah.
Now I'm
It's
doing
a very
Hannibal Lecter.
satisfying noise. You know you're about to have a good time, right? When you cut into a lasagna.
Oh yeah, but you know you're about to burn your mouth because no one can wait for
There's
the
no one can
lasagna to
wait.
cool down. No one can wait.
Yeah.
So you are always guaranteed
It's
to
been
burn the
in
roof of
there
your
for
mouth.
2.5 hours. Have you not had enough time already? Right?
Exactly. So you know, and you just can't help it. Or the crunchy bits around the edge, you know, where the tomato sauce has gone a little bit, you know. Yeah. And a crunchy pasta. I like it when the pasta gets a little bit crunchy.
See, like all of this talk of the hot weather and the hot lasagna, it's just making me think that a cold start really isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. And it's not. And I will show you why it's not in a bit. Well, I'll give you a link to go and investigate it further. So should I show you my transcription service? Because I think this is quite cool.
Okay.
Alrighty. So imagine that you have an app and you need to do some transcription. You don't want to shoehorn it in, not screwhorn it in, shoehorn it into your existing app. So you come and you make an Azure Functions. I want to show you something that's like not just a bit of demoware. I think it's really important to see stuff that's not a demoware. So you can have any old app, see one. It could be like 20 years old. It doesn't matter. If it can make an HTTP request, you're good. So we are going to take an audio file and we're going to send it off to an HTTP trigger. That's going to be our upload one, and that's going to save it to blob storage. It's quite important that it goes to blob storage. I mean, it's an audio file. It's the perfect place to put it. And then we have a blob trigger, which is so cool. It goes and it will be triggered via new additions to blob storage. Now our blob trigger goes and does some speech to text API stuff, and it writes to table storage. And then the speech to text API will trigger a webhook, which will be the resultant transcription, because if you've got a transcription, it takes 30% of the length of time of the transcription to transcribe. So if you've got a 3-minute piece of audio, it's going to take a minute to do it. So it's quite a long running process. You just want to fire and forget and then let it webhook back into your application. Now, what you'll notice here is that each one of these functions does one thing and does one thing well, because quite frankly, we could have the upload doing the STT call and the table storage, but we don't want to do that because that's the whole thing. We want that nice essay, like separation of concerns, and we want to keep everything nice and units of work. We don't want it doing too much. So you may think that the blob trigger is doing a little bit much, but it needs to write the transcription ID somewhere so we can get it later and tally it up. So that's the minimum it has to do. So I'm going to show you this app, and let's go into this one. So this one here has a Blazor server. Blazor is really cool. It's the newest, fanglest thing in the ASP.NET world. And it's like, we've got Blazor WASM, which means you can write C# in the browser. So be gone with JavaScript, be gone with React and Angular. You can do C# everywhere. So I'm very excited. But it doesn't matter what it is. This could be any old decrepit application, but it happens to be Blazor server. And that is going to capture an audio track. And then that's going to make an HTTP call over to our upload function. Just for demonstration purposes, I've made this one a get and a post. Let me just unhook that. So you can see it will take a get and a post. You should just pick one, really, unless it absolutely needs to. There's a lot of dancing going on onto my chair. I don't know what's going on. So we go and get the, we've got the HTTP request, and we can stream the audio data in. So, that might be quite a long running thing. An Azure function will stay alive for 15 minutes before it's decommissioned. So you don't want anything that's too long running. Again, another reason for unit of work. I just needed to check something that wasn't under my desk. So we go and get that, and then I have some repository functions in here, and you'll notice that I've got dependency injection, which is super exciting. So everything you do in ASP.NET is really based on using dependency injection. So we're not instantiating any instances ourselves. And what we got with the newer versions of Azure Functions in C# was the .NET Core dependency injection, which was super exciting. If we come over here and I show you in the startup, you can see that we're adding configuration, because I can use user secrets, which is a really cool thing, so that I can show you my local settings. I do have some quibbles with this, and I'll tell you about that, but I don't have to give you any of my connection strings here or auth tokens or anything. That can all be hidden away in my hidden user secrets, which is in a different part of my computer. So it will never get committed to a GitHub repo. It's not anywhere in the same directory as this, which is really cool.
So those user secrets, they stay, on your machine, which is managing them, and then when you deploy the function, does that have to be done from your computer, I guess? No,
because I might have local test settings. So you'd have this configuration going up, and well, you would use this configuration for the basis, and then you would go and set your configuration in Azure. So you would go and just do app settings on your in your app on Azure. But this tells you what it's expecting. And I think when you're in Azure, you would do Azure AZ storage configuration : storage connection string. So you'd flatten it. Now, the only thing that really irks me is that because this is very convention-based, for the blob trigger, and I'll show you that in a moment, is that you have to put it in this values object. Everything else can be out here and in user secrets. And you'll notice that I actually have a connection string in here because it's convention-based. So they haven't quite got it sorted, but this has come on a long way since the early versions. But this is how we bring them in. I strongly type all of my configuration. So we just saw in here, I have this JSON object here. And because C# is strongly typed, I go and get that configuration and I bind it to this object here. And you can see it matches. And this gives me a strongly typed C# object to work with, rather than that pesky JSON stuff. We don't do with that. So we can do all that, and then we can also have manage all of the instances we have in our dependency injection. So we have a container of services, and I can add them all, and I can state whether they're going to be singletons, transient, scoped to the thing. So we never used to have this. So you don't need to worry about this. It's just to know that we have that. So you can see I have a lot of services in here. I have a repository, but that's all by the by. The important thing is to know that it can all be injected. So this is my upload, and this literally just goes and passes this off to the data repository, which then saves it to blob storage. And that's all it does. It just takes that stream and then saves it. Now we have a blob storage. Actually, it's probably good if I put some breakpoints on here. So this is the blob storage called blob trigger. And this is very convention based. A blob trigger will fire on this specific pattern here. So I have to make sure that I save my audio like this. It's going to be in the audio container, and it needs to be called uploads audio hyphen and then an ID. So I just make that a GUID. And then I can also pluck that ID out here. And I can get the stream from the blob storage. So I can stream the content that's been saved to the blob storage and do some stuff with it. This is where it's also convention-based. It's looking specifically in that values section here of your settings.json. So that's why it's a bit niggly, because it's quite hard coded that this blob trigger will look in that values, and you can't move that. You can't have it somewhere else. So as long as you know that, that's okay. So this goes and pulls out the blob storage. It streams the audio file out of the blob storage, and then it sends that URL over to the transcription service, and then it goes and writes a row to table storage saying, here's the transcription ID, here's the URL, so that when we get the audio file, the transcription back, it knows where to tally it up to, because we've got a transcription ID. And you can go in and see what's processing, what's failed, what's queued. You can go and see, you know, the status of each transcription and the process of it. So that goes off and does that. And down here, you can see I give the transcription service a webhook URL. And this, I use ngrok to tunnel through to my VM, because this is developed locally. So I have this ngrok.
ngrok.
Yes, I like
Ellen's
ngrok.
awesome.
It is awesome. So I have that here. I've got ngrok running in the background here. So that's already set up. And here is my path through to it. And that is now pointing to API/download, which is this function. As remember, we got download as the function name, and it always puts API in the front unless you specify it else. And here I can replace that HTTP response with my own model. So I know what I'm getting back from the transcription service, and it will automatically bind to this model. Again, it uses Newtonsoft. There's a Microsoft version of JSON now, but because Azure Functions are very hard coded at the moment and convention-based, I have to use these rather than the new spangly system.text.json, but you're not worried about that. Just know that this makes it match what comes in. So it matches up. So this is, I use Pascal case in C# for all my properties, but we're going to get this transcript underscore ID from the transcription service. I don't want to call my property that. That's just wrong and horrible and ugly and just not done. So I can map that property to that. So that's that. And then all this does, I'm going to print this to the screen. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here so we can see when that comes in. The blob trigger, I will put one here, and I think I've already got one on the upload. Yes, I do. Alrighty, let's go. So I'm going to run this. And here it comes. So hello world, I can do stuff in here. And if I go here, you can see it's given me my 2 URLs, but not one for blob trigger because that can't be called, it comes directly from the blob. So it will tell you, hey, you've got a function called blob trigger, but I'm not giving you a URL with that because that's connected directly to your blob storage, which is actually running in Azure. So I don't have that locally. Okay, so over to Mike in a mug. My trusty Mike in a mug. Oh, you are kidding me. Why? I bet you.
Because live demos?
Yeah. Why? I bet you. Let me just check that this is attached. Yes, that is the problem. Okay, so we should be okay. Hello, this is a test. It better work. It is a live demo, so it wouldn't be a live demo without a failure. Okay, alrighty. So we got that in. And you can see straight away it's streamed that up to the upload function. Now we just let that go and we give it a moment. We should hit another breakpoint. Yeah, there we go. So now what that's done is it's gone and written it up in Azure to the blob storage. Blob storage has said, hey, got a new row. And that's now hit our blob trigger. So if we have a look, let me unpin that. We can come and see that we've got an ID. That was a GUID that we created. It's too big. If I can, let me step through a little bit. We make a file name, which is that. And then we've now got a nice audio URL that maps to our blob storage. So we sort of recompose that URL, and then we just simply send that off to the transcription service. So if I do that, we should get a status of queued. Yep, so you can see that's now processing on the transcription service. Depends how busy they are, whether you get that back. So if I let that continue, so that's gone off and gone. So that could take, if that's a 30-minute clip, that could take 10 minutes to transcribe. That is if it gets on the queue immediately, but that's all handled by a speech to text service. And then it's just a matter of waiting for it to come in and hit our download function. But from a point of view of our code, we've done it. We've had that processed. If we had a whole load of hits coming in, that would have scaled. And it would have decommissioned everything if it had that much work. But basically, that's kind of it. Let me just go and check. We've got nothing coming in. Session expired. Yeah, thank you. That's because my VM went to sleep. Oh dear. So what we'll do is, we can just go and grab this. I used to have a paid for account, so I didn't have to keep doing that. So if I stop this, we'll go and fix it now. I was wondering why that was taking so long. If I go in the blob trigger, I just have to go down and re-update the webhook, save, run. We should see it coming through now, I reckon. Okay. I can kick off another quick recording. Hello, testing, test. Okay, so there we go. That one's gone. We can fire that off. Go, little one, go. We'll hit a blob storage in a minute. There we go, that's that one. And then hopefully this time we should see it come in to the download. If not, it doesn't matter, you get the idea. But It'd be nice to see it. There we go. Hurrah. So if I let that go, I'm going to hit it a couple of times now because a few of them are going to come in. And if I come in here, you can see, hello, testing, 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 test. It even picked up that I was getting annoyed. No, that was no question at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it knew I was like serious about this. So you can see there that if that was a really long audio file, we don't have to worry. And that transcription is saved back up to the table storage, and you could go and get that later. But this is completely off your monolith. It's not going to put any stress or load on that system, completely separate, and you don't have to worry about it. So that is my more than a demo. So I'm going to go back over here to show you a few more like details about it. Any questions about that?
No question.
It makes me think of my visual voicemail service. Right? Must always be doing transcription there. I just take it for granted now.
And it's busy.
I remember, years back in early cell phones when, you would never be able to have a visual voicemail experience, and you have to call in and you have to go through the messages. I see.
Yeah. So again, you're rubbing it in. You're like Tiffany putting on her jacket. So I'm going to move on now.
Perhaps we should move your cell plan to Azure Functions.
Yes. So architecting a solution in Azure Functions with regards to C# this is. So it can be structured like any other .NET Web app. You can have classes, you can have dependency injection, you can use the repository pattern. So you can use all of those. You never used to be able to do that. When it was version 1, you'd have to build it all in the console. You didn't have any version control. By console, I mean the Azure portal, I should say. So it was blah. It does support .NET 5 now. It should be supporting .NET 6 when that comes out in November. And the big thing is try to remember that single responsibility. You just want each function to do one thing and do that one thing well. So this is it, consumption and premium. So the consumption plan includes a monthly free grant of 1 million requests and 400,000 gigabytes of processing data. I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but stuff. And then 15 pence per 1 million executions. So it's cheap as chips, very cheap. Now the premium, this is the one that keeps it hot all the time. So it's based on the number of events, the consumption one, but premium has enhanced performance and VNet access. It's built based on the virtual CPU and the memory of your function. So it's much more of an app service. So it would have a lot more cost to it. As I say, I think a basic one would be about $60 a month without all the additional stuff on top of it. So for most people, the consumption plan is the way to go.
Premium is the hot lasagna plan.
Oh yeah.
Never cool. Yeah.
Slurpy noodles. So we have some really, I've got the windows open and it's pitch black outside. So now I've got the fuzzy things flying. Oh my God, it's enormous. Okay. Anyway, so remember I showed you the authorization keys. They're not very secure. They do if you had everything internal, maybe behind something like a gateway, so they could only be accessed by each other. I wouldn't rely on those being you get an API key, so you could call from an external app with the API key to a function. Not really very secure, so I wouldn't recommend that. It really depends on how trustworthy your service has to be. I would use a secure HTTP endpoint, such as using an API management service, so a gateway of some sorts, and deploy your function apps in isolation. They've just done an update to Azure Functions, which means they can talk to each other internally and other services internally in the same resource without any security. They've sort of boxed them all in a room together, which makes securing them a little bit easier. So yeah, really think about the level of trust your app needs to have, because like Azure API management is like $1,500 a month. It's not cheap. So you really want to make sure that you need that level of trust, and all the features that a premium like service like that offers. All right, so I have some good docs here that people can go check out. I will drop them in. No, I won't drop them in the chat because this is going to flick me on. Fine. Have it your way. So there's the Microsoft Docs. I'll drop that in the chat. This is an app, a blog about configuration and different ways you can do it. And then this one is all about benchmarking cold starts and hot starts. It's really interesting. And you'll see that when you look at the charts on that, that's not really a problem. I mean, this thing is ginormous buzzing around. I mean, like this. Here it comes. Okay. All right. Sorry. It's a daddy long leg, so it's very big.
Wait, you have a flying spider happening?
A daddy long legs is a crane fly. So have you seen one of those? Do you know what a daddy long legs is?
I think daddy long legs is something
daddy
different.
Legs aren't crane. Yeah, crane flies are different. Crane flies look like daddy long legs with wings. I thought
this is a daddy long legs.
So that second image in your image is what I associate as
daddy. Okay.
Yeah.
We have those as well. And I always think they're odd because they have no thorax. They're just like these blob spiders.
Yeah. They get in big piles and it looks, I guess there's a photo kind of below, like
I'll don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, we just get like the odd random one. But this is what I finally got buzzing me at the moment is a daddy long legs, a crane fly. Yeah. And about a gajillion moths as well.
Start hatching this month, apparently.
I've never heard of it called a crane. Like I've never heard a crane fly called a daddy long legs.
Yeah.
I believe it's the canonical name for it. Yeah. Like you would think that they might be spiders, but they're not.
Yeah, but as in like the daddy long legs that I'm used to are the ones that look like spiders but aren't spiders, that are separate from these flying giant mosquitoes that aren't mosquitoes.
Now this is a giant mosquito here.
We have a question for you in chat, Layla.
I see it. Andrew, how are you? Andrew was on my stream earlier today. So would you recommend ready-to-run compilation for .NET apps deployed as functions? I don't see why not. I haven't done any sort of benchmarking on that or anything. I usually just don't. I just sort of fire them off and leave them sort themselves out. I just use Azure Functions in the sort of most basic ways. Now, if you do want to get into depth on Azure Functions, you can go to town on this. I totally wasn't typing then, was I? Bloody VM. So if we go look at durable functions, this is where you can get really fancy with them. So you can see these are supported C#, JavaScript, Python, F#, and PowerShell. I don't think they've got, I don't know if Python and Java and all of those are coming there. Andrew, do you have any opinion on that? So this would be, you'd have this as an orchestrator, and your durable function would be managing like this pattern. You've got a fan out, fan in. So I don't know if this is similar to sort of Kubernetes orchestration or Docker and orchestration, but this will manage your more complicated sort of like use cases. So that would be that, but they are more complicated and they are expensive, and you don't necessarily need them because you can sort of bring your Azure functions together and trigger them off each other, as I showed you. You can say JavaScript and Python. I don't think they said Python up there. Did I miss it?
I believe so.
Whizzing up to the top. Oh yeah, they did. So yeah. But yeah. you'd want to need that. It's like you'd want to really need to have microservices before you go ahead and implement them. So you'd really want to make sure that you needed durable functions. So Andrew says, I'm mainly asking regarding ability to pre-compile apps to reduce the startup time. Are they not already there when they're stored in I'll have to have a look into that, and I'll get back to you, Andrew. I'll look at that tomorrow, because they're pretty lightweight. So you might be able to pre-compile them. I'll have to have a look into that. I've not looked into it. I shall put it in my notebook. Have you seen it? No, now he's giving me a link. Let me go and get that. I guess if you had something heavyweight, more like what I was using, with a lot of so in this one, if we look at the Solution Explorer, there's a lot in here. And this might be a lot faster if it was no, I thought there was something crawling on me. It was my hair.
Daddy long legs his stroke.
I know. There's a lot of code in here. This is quite, a complicated application. There's a lot to it. So this might be faster if it was pre-compiled. I don't really know what the speed. So it's only in self-contained deployment. I'd like to see some actual numbers on whether it's worth running. So there's a lot of this sort of ready to run coming on. You can pre-compile Blazor apps now, and there's a lot more sort of pre-compile coming out in C#. But I don't always know if it's that worth running. So I'd have to have a look and see if someone's done any metrics on it. So I shall have a look. But yeah, that's kind of my introduction to it. All this code is on my GitHub at Layla-P. You can find me on Twitter at Layla Codes It, and you can find me right here on Twitch at Layla Codes It too. So yeah, any more questions?
I like how you picked like a name that results in you being able to have a domain with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll just pop this link to the slides. Oh God, I always do that. Let me go here. Oh, come on. Oh my God. Don't mind me.
Control A, Control C. Get it all.
Andrew, do you know of any metrics based on that? Have you done any with that? Have you played with Azure Functions? That could be something interesting to try on a stream, actually, is do some metrics and see if it's faster or not. But, oh, hello, howling dog. So yeah, that's kind of it. Any questions? Any other questions? Oh, no, that's why I'm asking. All right, I will get back to you and I will figure it out, and we can put it on comments on this video when it's on the YouTube, and answer that question. So I'll scribble this out. I went to write it down and then didn't. Ready to run, speed. Oh my goodness, my handwriting doesn't even look like mine. That was that bad. But yeah, there we go. I shall stop sharing so we can all be together.
Oh.
Even though I didn't get Apple TV.
Very briefly, I thought the blue sky was a green screen, and you can't see it anymore, but I had like my virtual background like hiding with the end of my like Twitter handle was like in the corner there, but like it's gone now.
I guess there it is. There it is.
There
it is.
I keep a dry erase board next to me all the time, similar to your notebook, except I get my fingers dirty all the time, just wiping it off.
Oh.
That looks remarkable.
Yeah.
Where'd she go?
I know.
Yeah, the only green thing I have is like a water bottle. Oh my. You can kind of see Seattle in here. There's Rainier.
I have a VMware mug and a GitHub mug, and both of them on the inside are perfect green, so it just looks like I'm like drinking a cup of nothing. It's like a portal to another world with coffee.
Excuse me while I consume a portion of the void.
Let's see. There's these like caramel apple pops. Does this work? No, not so much.
Oh, they just look gone off.
It did it for a second. I have a green napkin next to me.
Those are past the recommended consumption date.
Yes. Okay, so yes, I can see a bit of Seattle in your face there. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm saying I have a green screen and I have a green napkin. No, but I have to turn it on.
They don't like you.
Yeah.
I swear things keep landing on me. Yeah. But it's still 29 degrees in my office.
Oh.
And it's
let's see what temperature is it
past
here.
9 at night.
It's 71 and whatever that is in Celsius.
19, I don't know. No, it's not working for you.
Yeah, it's like sizzling back there, but
21.6.
Yeah, so a bit chilly. Yeah. Okay, I am just going to ignore you now.
What time is it there, Layla?
It's 9:31.
Oh yeah, 8-hour time difference, right?
Yeah. It's normally like getting close to my bedtime now, but I had a monster on stream with Andrew today. My viewers normally say I should be sponsored by Monster because, I'm always like, yay, ultra white, it's the elixir of code. Sorry, that thing is still flapping around in here. So yeah, I've even got my chat trying Monster Energy now, which is kind of worrying. I'm like, an influencer in the wrong way.
A bad influencer.
Oh yeah. Try this Monster. It's the elixir of code. We even Googled what does ultra white taste like, and someone said it tastes like something from a fountain in heaven. They use something worse than that, but I'm not going to say that. A fountain in heaven, apparently. It is pretty damn good. So it takes all my self-control not to neck the whole bottle in a whole can in one go.
It makes me feel nuts. I don't enjoy that much energy. I know.
Oh, I'm fine. I have
oh yeah, you have a bunch of them.
Eight cups of coffee in a day, maybe more. I'll probably go and have a cup of coffee now before bed.
Really? You identify, my brother's ADHD and he can drink coffee and it makes him feel normal and he can sleep.
Oh, is that what maybe is wrong with me? ADHD? Maybe.
I have ADHD and I have coffee afternoon and it screws up my sleep.
Does it? Okay. I've heard some people self-medicate with it that's my brother.
Oh, I'm like, you do not want to be around me if I'm not caffeinated.
Then what happens?
I am a bitch.
We have to get into the virtual studio graveyard, find out.
Yeah, and not caffeinate me. No, you do not. Somebody
take the shovel away from Layla.
Yeah, you think someone who's hangry times like 100, and then you're close to me when I'm not caffeinated. I mean, it helps with my asthma as well. That's my excuse. Caffeine helps with asthma. Like, I'm probably not going to say, I mean, I've had this like monster at 2 p.m. So that was like 7 hours ago. And I'm still pretty like, yeah, I'm feeling my monster. I usually need quiet time.
Half the time I'm drinking like kombucha that I make myself. I have kombucha going over there. I like cut up ginger and lemon and have it in my water bottle. I drink like herbal tea. I'm annoying, right? I don't know. That's just like,
I don't think you're annoying.
Judge others. That's just how I roll. Yeah.
I like Tulsi tea. That's nice. That's delicious.
What's that?
I don't.
Is that a brand?
No, it's a type of tea. It's not caffeinated. It's lovely. Okay. Tulsi, Tulsi. That's really nice. And I don't like fruit teas. I don't mind peppermint. But you can shove your chamomile, and then the fruit ones, they smell wonderful. And then you take a sip and you're like, what is this disgusting dirt flavor in my mouth?
I feel like
Ted Lasso has a running
like
about how much
maybe not dirt flavored, but like fruit beer. A lot of the times, like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then it just tastes like the rind instead. And I'm like, I wanted fruit. What is this garbage?
Yeah.
You just want cider then, right?
Cider, yeah, that's okay. But these
most ciders are so sweet.
Yes.
I like a dry cider. Yeah, you have in San Francisco, if you like beers that are sour. When I used to be there and I'd go out with my team members, they'd go to like, I think it's McKellar's, and they do like disgusting sour beers. They're like, this is great. And I had a sip of it and I was like, wash out my mouth. Ew.
Your facial expression's hilarious, because when you started that story, before we even knew with your words where you were going, you were already wearing an expression of disgust.
Yeah.
And anticipation.
I'm quite expressive. So.
I like that about you.
Yeah.
But so I suppose we should let you go to bed at 9:30.
I'm gonna have to go I'm only rocking on my rocking chair, not rocking backwards and forwards, like an over caffeinated duckling. But
and you want duckling. More caffeine.
When you said the number
around,
we talked about your monster and you were like, I have 8, and I thought you were going to say you have 8 Monster Energy.
No, I don't have death wish, Whitney.
And I was just like, oh! And then you like cups of coffee. I might have
2 Whitneys. 2 Whitneys. That's it. Monsters are now called Whitneys.
Wait, are you calling Whitney a monster?
Yes, she was.
Oh, my face hurts. So I might have 2 Whitneys a week. There you go. That's it now. It's Whitney Ultra Energy.
Mm-hmm. 2 Whitneys a week.
Yeah, 2 Whitneys a week. If that, I'm quite good. I usually have one with a stream, and I had one today because I was going to do my stream and then I was coming on here, so I thought I'll be energized for you all. See, energized.
I love how the universal kind of facial of like, I have enough energy for this situation is like,
it has to
have your eyes open, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. This is me. I'm here.
I'm here. Why do I ding 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 ding? I'm hearing a lot of like, there's mirrors over there. Oh, I see. The puppy is trying to rid me of the daddy long legs.
Oh,
so she's leaping around.
She might succeed.
Yeah,
we've trained our dog to go hunt the houseflies.
Yeah, but she's only little, so if it gets too high, she's going to have to like leap, and she's not the best leaper. She's a leaper and splatter. But she just
maybe if she leaps and splats on it.
Yeah.
But she's like a snarling, snapping thing, and like trying to get it. Like you'll need to see me impersonate my dog, didn't you? Snarling and snapping. I did. So yeah, she's cornered it now behind a computer case, and the leg is going through. That's creepy.
We'll get eaten.
Yeah, she'll eat it. She digs up bugs from the garden. Like, they're disgusting. They're like this big with like fangs. They're beetle larvae, and she digs them up. And then some of them she'll eat, some of them she mushes and then leaves like where you might walk, like on the stairs.
Ooh.
Tiffany's face is great right now as well.
Yeah, now I'm just worrying about like multiple coming back and then like procreating and then having like an army.
So they are chafer beetle larvae.
Ooh.
If you want to have a look. chafer beetle.
Do I?
larvae?
Do I
Yeah,
want
go
to?
for it.
Oh.
There you
Oh.
go.
Oh no, why?
And they're like this big.
So much more gross than the beetles themselves.
The beetles are quite cute, don't they? Like regular old beetles. And then there's these things with 3 legs at the front and like and then these big
Whoa.
bodies. Yeah, and they're like this big.
I'm glad I already ate.
Cookie thinks they're quite
love it.
tasty. She thinks they're really yum. And she sort of eats them. They mustn't taste great because she's like, I don't know if you've seen a dog eat something that they don't like. They're like,
And why does she keep doing it? Or is it like
it's a
goldfish
toy as
brain?
much as it is. It's maybe
kind of
more
like a
than
sour
it is.
beer in the dog world.
Maybe.
But sour beers can be really good.
On what planet?
Oh, I love sour stuff. Like
Sour things too.
I have an
I love
army
sour.
of sour candy. I'm so bad.
I do love sour like sweets and like jelly
It gets
stuff.
worse.
Oh, I like sour Haribo. Nom nom nom. But
Sour
I
what?
don't Haribo.
Haribo?
Yeah,
Oh, got it.
It's like
like I nearly
Gummy bears.
broke into song. You don't want to hear me sing.
gummy
So,
bear.
Monster Energy in one hand, Haribo gummies in the other.
Yeah, with
That sounds
sugar.
like the bad kind of a good time.
A very temporary good time and then an extended bad time afterward. Yeah.
Bad time. Very bad time. Yeah, I don't know. See, I like sour stuff, like really sour sweets and stuff, but not the sour beers. They just taste wrong. I like a bitter. I don't think you really get bitter. I guess the closest might be a pale ale or an IPA. Not stout. Not, bitter. That's it. That's what I like. Icy cold bitter on a hot day. I could do with some
I
bitter
don't like
now.
bitter.
Yeah, for me, just whenever I think bitter, I just think of bitter melon. Like that is the essence. Bitter.
Oh no, it's called bitter. It's a type of beer.
Yeah.
It's an ale.
Yes. Yeah. I do not think like a liquid, but I just can taste the bitter melon.
Okay. Yeah. I don't mind that. That's like a lemonade, isn't it? Bitter lemon that you'd have a mixer?
Bitter melon. It's
melon.
Yeah, it's a very popular Chinese dish.
Oh, okay. No, I've not had that.
Yeah. No, it's quite unusual. I think like in most Western cuisine, you'd never find it. But it's it's very bitter. Like you're kind of like into the middle of it and everyone's smiling, like complimenting the cooking, and like you're like, I'm enjoying this, but also like, why am I doing this? Kind of, yeah.
I like bitter breads, like sourdough or dosa, injera.
Oh,
Like
sourdough.
fermented breads. Hell yeah.
I like Indian bread's really good.
Dosa. Or I don't know that. I know dosa is Indian and fermented. What else is? I don't know.
Well, I just like their breads. I like paratha. I know it's not fermented. I do like dosa. I just like the texture of paratha because it's enriched as well. It's just got that like stodginess. Nom nom nom. I'm not hungry though. I had fish and chips, I told you before this. So I've been sitting here with my belly too full.
Yeah, so that 15 pence per million function calls thing. When you were like cheap as chips, it's like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to this idiom. This is not like something that I'd find in my normal lexicon, but I like it. It's just got like a nice, like kind of alliterative, kind of.
I can teach you all the Britishisms. Bob's your uncle, Whitney learnt last week. Bob's your uncle. And Bob's your uncle, it's done.
Yeah.
Now I miss Bob. Where's Bob Brindley?
Here is the bug hunter. I thought you could see it.
Oh, the Victor.
Oh,
Did you get it?
Legos.
She's like,
The
oh,
wet-
the lights. Oh,
Hold on.
The wet nose in question. There it is.
Yes.
What kind of dog?
Not a chihuahua.
Miniature pinscher.
Yes. Miniature Doberman. Look, can you not see the Doberman? Look. There. There's the Doberman in it. Because you got miniature pinscher, German pinscher, and Doberman pinscher. So she'd look more like a Doberman if she was black and tan. And if she had her ears up. She's like, oh, I'm ready to go to bed. It's a bit late.
She's like, what are you doing to me? Mom.
Yeah. That's it. Go hunt some bugs. So yes. Yeah. So this was fun. I enjoyed this.
So fun. Yeah.
I'm a bit jealous that you three get to do it every week now. And I'm having a show with Andrew. We're gonna do a .NET show. Yeah.
You can guest host with us sometime.
Are you trying to make us jealous?
No, would I do that, miss? I'm gonna put on my jacket now. You should just put a woolly hat on. Go on, put your hood up. Go on. You know you want to. That's it. Yeah, you see? Rub that in. That's it.
Oh, it's drama.
Stop.
It
started.
You see? Yeah, I'm going to have another one with, I'm just going to do my own stream. That's it.
Nice.
I literally just got a Slack message from Andrew with ideas for future broadcasts. Literally just this second, he sent it through.
Nice. Well,
Stuff that
go.
we're going to
So
do.
when are both of you coming on Tanzu Tuesdays together, huh?
We can come on there. You just need to invite us. It's fine. We can come on. We actually had a major breakthrough today. We got yet another reverse proxy working with Stilto and Eureka. It was cool. So we've got our API gateway talking to Eureka, and we're like, yay! It was a momentous occasion.
It sounds like it's been a great day.
I know. Can you tell? I'm quite chipper today.
You're fish and chipper.
Yes, full on fish and chips.
So I'm like looking at the users in the chat, and there's one that's like another TTV viewer, which to me reads as another Tanzu Tuesday.
That's another
Twitch or Tanzu
TV.
Tanzu TV viewer.
Oh, sadly, another TTV viewer is in every stream, and it's a bot. I'm afraid.
Aww,
Put your hands up if you're not a bot.
What's that bot want with us?
It comes in and tracks us.
Oh.
It will track.
I've
our
never seen it
statistics.
before.
It's a most of them. So it's I'm not sure which one it is, but it's in a lot of streams. It's in all of mine. I see we've got Stream Labs, so that's the same. I was talking about Stream Elements, so you could do that. And now we're here. Lee, are you feeling more confident to build a chatbot live on stream?
Yes, I could certainly mess that up.
Good. Yeah. That's what we want. We want to mess it up. We want to mod program. We're going to do it. So we're planning that, plotting when we can all come on and tag team and build the chatbot. I added to my chatbot little emotes flying around.
I just had an idea, actually. What if we were able to use the chatbot to send some of our stream audio to the text-to-speech service, and we could like pick out a noun and have it try to chime in with a potentially accurate or mostly inaccurate comment about what's happening in the stream, We
could totally do that.
Yeah, we could just like try to like strip out like, anything that's not like if we could figure out what a proper noun, when a proper noun is saying, it could just be like, oh, I feel blank emotion about blank,
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun. It's almost like it'd be like listening in on you, but it's just a show. It's just a fabrication.
Well, you can totally do that. There's all sorts
I want
of
to
things
feel
you
love
can
from my
hook in.
computers. Yeah.
So you can hook into all sorts of things on it. So it's quite straightforward. I was going to show you my stuff flying around, but I can't seem to. Let me see if I can get it to work. Because we can do all sorts of cool stuff with our oh, it's this one, that's why. Okay. Alrighty, let me come and do this. Is that gonna work this time? No. Yay, there we go.
Oh, what?
Yay.
Ooh, are they little doggies?
They're my emotes.
Yeah, they're the I was gonna say those look like the ones that were in the chat earlier.
Yeah, they're my emotes. So I can drop some in here. So there we go. And then I can have them flying around. So we can have flying around thingies on ours as well, you know. And I can have my, these are things I put in today. So there we go. Oh, look, there's me. There's me hanging around.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So,
That's pretty brilliant.
So chat can get involved. And, you know, the other one I have is, I'm sorry.
Needs a clear background.
Yeah, it's normally over the top of all my code. So I'm sorry for this one, Whitney. This one is decapitated puppies. You know, I apologize in advance for the decapitated puppies.
Oh gosh.
But you know, it has to be done. So there we go.
Oh
this is
crime comes at a
cookies.
cost.
Yeah.
You see these speedboats? Do you like them? This is what we have to do.
Puppies.
I didn't choose this life. Not at the beginning, anyway.
No, it chose me. I didn't ask for this. Anyway, that's my Deus Ex reference for the night. So yes, I think we should build a chatbot. We can have fun, whizzy things flying around, and have some fun. And also, you can teach me. Someone can teach me Java. None of you can teach me Java. Who knows Java here?
I know Java poorly, and I've written some Spring. Yeah.
Alrighty. So I know not a dicky bird about Java. So I mean, apparently it's very like C#, so it should be fine. It should be okay. And just
a bit.
Does he?
Andrew volunteers.
Andrew volunteers. Andrew's just spent 3 hours coding with me today. He's a brave man, wanting to teach me a bit of Java.
Do they have a programming language called Monster?
Yeah, we write our own programming language. A friend of mine wrote a programming language called Rockstar, and that is another energy drink. We have Rockstar energy here. Do you have Rockstar?
Yep.
I've had a Rockstar before. I've also written a Rockstar program. So I do have it on my CV that I'm a Rockstar programmer. And,
I've been a Rockstar. I've signed autographs as a
there
Rockstar.
You go. You see,
it's true.
You're a real rock
we have
star.
a fellow Rockstar with us. Certified monster. Whitney Lee.
The closest to monster coding, I found there's a website called monstercoding.com, and they have like really interesting like creatures on the page.
Well, that's fun.
Monstercoding.com. I'm there. I'm going. Where is it?
Like, look at the little creatures.
Monstercoding.com.
Oh, cute.
Oh my God. Yay. They're so cute. In Anchorage, Alaska.
All red guys, hilarious.
I like those.
Oh.
That's his face. There we go. Right, my lovelies. It's 7 minutes to 10.
Yeah. And my earbuds are dying already.
Uh-oh.
So I think that's my cue.
Yes. Where are you? Oh, is this your Rockstar language that you're popping in there, Lee?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah, that is a valid program. It is a brilliant programming language. You should definitely go check out codewithrockstar.com. Some of the most poetic code that I've ever written. Absolutely. Yeah.
So my friend Dylan created Rockstar. That's when I first had a look at it. And he is a rock star. He sings at all the like .NET conferences. Have you seen him perform, Lee?
I have not. No, I would love to see this performance. Absolutely.
So at the bottom of Code with Rockstar, you'll see Dylan Beatty's link. And Dylan does a lot of parody songs where he takes huge like rock anthems and inserts code into them. They are pretty epic and very, very funny. So you should have a look. Let me find.
Absolutely. There's a whole link on his site of musical parodies. It's the only kind of music that's on his site. It's just Dylan Beatty.
A Kubernetes rap.
Yes, I did make a Kubernetes themed zero downtime based parody or like rendition of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. That was a good time.
Pretty damn good then.
Yeah, was writing Perl programs and just trying to get paid. So.
Right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And I want to see these
everyone watching.
Azure functions built.
Chop, chop. Chip, chop, chop.
Yes, that's it. Chop, chop. Have a great day, folks. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye, friends.